Alright, pretty soon the 2024 Oscars are gonna happen. So, what I'm gonna do here today is tell you my thoughts on every film nominated that I saw, and just tell you what I like about them, whether I think they deserve to be nominated or not, as well as just other opinions on the films. I'm gonna keep this somewhat brief because of the amount of movies I'm gonna be talking about. So yeah, let's get into it. Okay, so I'm gonna go in order of this list I have here. The first time a movie is mentioned, I'll give my thoughts on it. Alright, let's start with actor in a leading role. Oh, god damn it. Well, I guess I have to eat my vegetables before my dessert, huh? Maestro is Bradley Cooper's latest attempt to get an Oscar. Okay, moving on. No, okay, but for real. It tells the life and times of composer Leonard Bernstein. It's also nominated for sound, makeup and hairstyling, cinematography, original screenplay, actress in a leading role for Carey Mulligan, and best picture, which is way too many goddamn nominations. This movie's boring as hell. Like, it has its moments, and it looks nice. Plus, the one shot where he's conducting is kinda cool. Everything else is boring as shit. I liked his previous movie, A Star is Born, just fine, but this one, And I was looking forward to the movie, you know? Very disappointing. It's not the worst movie ever, but you could tell it's just Bradley trying so hard to get an Oscar. 2.5 Snoopies out of 5. If you want a good movie about a classical musician, watch last year's Tar. Next is Rustin. Haven't seen it. Next is Paul Giamatti in The Holdovers. Alright, here we go. The Holdovers is also nominated for editing, original screenplay, actress in a supporting role for Divine Joy Randolph, and best picture. This is the latest film from Alexander Payne, who's directed Sideways, Election, About Schmidt, and even more films that I have still yet to see. This was a great throwback movie. Like, this is honestly one of the best recreations of a 70s film I've ever seen. It's also one of the best modern Christmas movies. Personally, I would have been down for a cinematography nomination as well. The fact that it looks so much like a 70s movie while being shot on digital is kinda crazy to me. It just goes to show how far lensing can get you. Paul Giamatti was great, as well as Divine Joy Randolph. Dominic Sessa also did a great job too. Fun fact, he's not even an actor. He was just a student who went to one of the schools they shot at. And honestly, I'm excited to see if he does anything next. Anyway, check this movie out. A new certified Christmas classic. 4.5 In-N-Out burgers out of 5. Next is Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer is also nominated for original score, sound, makeup and hairstyling, costume design, production design, cinematography, editing, adapted screenplay, actress in a supporting role for Emily Blunt, actor in a supporting role for Robert Downey Jr., Christopher Nolan for director, and best picture. And I think this is the film with the most nominations this year, and I absolutely see it sweeping everything it's nominated for. It's an amazing movie that I'm sure you've probably seen already. The amount of people that went out to see this truly amazes me. I mean, you have a 3-hour historical biopic, half of which is shot in black and white, and it made almost $1 billion. Truly, cinema is alive and well. I mean, I'm sure the whole Barbenheimer meme had something to do with it, but hey, people still saw it. Anyway, truly amazing. One of Nolan's best. 5 flowers out of 5. Next is Jeffrey Wright in American Fiction. It's also nominated for original score, adapted screenplay, actor in a supporting role for Sterling K. Brown, and best picture. I think this movie's kinda mixed. Like, I like the stuff about him trying to publish the book. I thought that was a good social satire, but also half the movie is dedicated to his family, and that stuff is really goddamn boring. Like, it really tainted the movie for me. Again, there's some good stuff in here, and the performances are good, but when it's actually about the book, it gets pretty funny. If I ever get this on Blu-ray, I'm just gonna skip the chapters with the family in them. 7 Tyler Perrys out of 10. Alright, out of these, I would say that probably Cillian Murphy's gonna win. I just feel like Oppenheimer is going to get most of what it's nominated for, and Cillian Murphy's performance is very pivotal to the film. Now, moving on to actor in a supporting role, we have Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, and Robert De Niro in Killers of the Flower Moon. Killers of the Flower Moon is also nominated for original song, original score, costume design, production design, cinematography, editing, actress in a leading role for Lily Gladstone, Martin Scorsese for director, and best picture. As stated, this is the latest from film icon and notable hater of Marvel movies, Martin Scorsese. The film follows the tragic, true-life story of the mysterious murders of the Osage Nation in the 1920s after oil is discovered on their land. Okay, let's get the elephant out of the room. The run time. The film clocks in a lean, mean 3.5 hours, which honestly, there were some moments where I was feeling it, but overall it didn't bother me too much, although the dude next to me fell asleep an hour in. How embarrassing. Okay, as for the movie itself, I thought it was great. All the performances are great. I know many people are saying that DiCaprio was snubbed, and I mean, I could see why. But I don't know, for me, when I see him, I just see him as DiCaprio. Nothing against him and his performances, but that's just how I see him. Maybe if you got a smaller actor in there or something, but I didn't really have this problem with De Niro's character. But you know what? I'd rather have Leo get a nom than Bradley Cooper. Anyway, it was a great movie. 4.5 1920s car horns out of 5. Next is Robert Downey Jr. for Oppenheimer and Ryan Gosling for Barbie. Oh my god, he's literally me. Barbie's also nominated for 2 original songs, costume design, production design, adapted screenplay, actress in a supporting role for America Ferrera, and Best Picture. In all likelihood, you've probably seen this movie already, but I really like it. I've been a fan of Greta Gerwig's for a bit now. And truth be told, I was a little worried when I saw that her next project would be a Barbie movie, but honestly, she pulled it off. I love the look of Barbie Land. It's just something about it, like how it looks like a toy world. It's something you don't see in the rest of modern filmmaking. Any other director probably would have had it be CGI for the most part, but they stuck to practicality. Honestly, I feel like this movie would not have worked if it weren't for Greta Gerwig. She really brought something special to the movie. And much like everyone, I'm kind of disappointed she didn't get a directing nomination, especially since she did for her last 2 movies. Of course, the standout actor in the film is Ryan Gosling. He just has this standout energy that makes you not want to take your eyes off him. That being said, the rest of the movie was great too. 4.5 Mojo Dojo Casa Houses out of 5. Next is Mark Ruffalo for Poor Things. Poor Things is also nominated for original score, makeup and hairstyling, costume design, production design, cinematography, editing, adapted screenplay, actress in a leading role for Emma Stone, Yorgos Lanthimos for director, and Best Picture. Honestly, this is one of the most unique and engaging films from last year. I also really loved Emma Stone's performance. Her gradual progression from going from basically an infant to a fully grown adult woman is truly something amazing. I also love the production design. Really love the alternate universe steampunk Victorian world the film is set in. As far as snubs, I honestly think that Dafoe should have got supporting actor instead of Ruffalo. Ruffalo was good and all, but he was a very comedic character. And honestly, Willem Dafoe probably deserves it more. 4.5 Willem Dafoe burp bubbles out of 5. And that could go up on a rewatch. Alright, out of these actors, I'd probably say the Oscar will go to Robert Downey Jr. It's one of his best performances, and again, it's Oppenheimer. Ryan Gosling and Mark Ruffalo are playing very comedic characters, so I really don't see them really getting the Oscar because this is still the White People Drama Awards after all. Sterling K. Brown in American Fiction, he was good, but I don't know if he was Oscar good, you know? De Niro, honestly, I'd be okay with De Niro, but I see it more likely to happen with RDJ. Alright, next is actress in a leading role. First up is Annette Bening in Naiad. I haven't seen it. After that is Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon. Next is Sandra Hüller for Anatomy of a Fall. Anatomy of a Fall is also nominated for editing, original screenplay, Justine Triet for director, and best picture. Honestly, this had one of the best structures for a story in this year. It's probably one of the best screenplays of the year, and it might win the Oscar, honestly, for screenplay. Sandra Hüller is really doing a phenomenal job here, as well as pretty much everyone in the film. It's a classic courtroom drama, up there with the best of the genre, honestly. It's pretty great, check it out. 4.5 50-cent albums out of 5. Next is Carey Mulligan for Maestro and Emma Stone for Poor Things. Honestly, between all of these, I am stuck between Gladstone and Stone. As far as which is better, I honestly think Emma Stone gave the better performance, but I honestly see the award going to Gladstone more than Stone. Alright, up next is actress in supporting role. The nominees are Emily Blunt in Oppenheimer, Danielle Brooks in The Color Purple, haven't seen it, America Ferrera in Barbie, Jodie Foster in Naiad, haven't seen it, and Divine Joy Randolph in The Holdovers. For me, I feel like it's between Divine and Emily Blunt. If I had to guess, I'd say Divine Joy Randolph is more likely to get it. She's the heart of the film and part of what makes it truly special. America Ferrera and Barbie, I really don't know if she should be here. Like, she was fine in the movie, but not actress in a supporting role fine. Moving on to animated feature. The nominees are The Boy and the Heron, haven't seen it. Elemental. Elemental is the latest shit stain from Pixar. Okay, I mean, it's not bad, but it's just so goddamn generic. Like, it feels like a mid-2000s DreamWorks movie. Whatever happened to Pixar? They used to mean something, man. I mean, it's probably better than Lightyear, but that's not much of a high bar. At least the animation looks nice. 2.5 clods out of 5. Next is Nimona. Nimona is honestly a great movie that's lots of fun. So for those who don't know, this was the last project for Blue Sky Studios, the studio behind Ice Age, Rio, and Robots. When Fox was acquired by Disney, Blue Sky was shut down, but Netflix picked this movie up for distribution, and thank God they did, because this movie's pretty great. It's lots of fun, good representation, and honestly a big fuck you to Disney. The fact that Disney didn't want to release this and decided that Wish was a good idea truly says something about that company. However, I will just say that sometimes the writing in this movie can be kinda mixed. Other than that, good movie. 4 chopped arms out of 5. Next is Robot Dreams. And unlike most people, I actually have seen this movie. So for some reason, this movie is in wide release hell. You know, it showed at a bunch of film festivals, but as far as wide distribution, the release date keeps getting pushed farther and farther back. But I was one of the lucky few people who saw this at a film festival. And I don't even go to film festivals. I was just out of town and happened to be there. I guess that's just really good luck then. Anyway, this was a good movie. There is no dialogue used throughout the entire movie, and I thought that was a pretty cool touch. The animation on this was stellar. Man, I miss 2D animation. I liked all the 80s pop culture references, and when it gets a wide release, it's definitely worth a watch. 4 towers out of 5. What? They have it everywhere throughout the movie. It's very hard not to think about it. And the final animated feature is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Look, I've seen it, you've seen it, your grandmother's seen it, we've all seen it, and we all know it's amazing. Truly some of the best animation ever put to screen. The character dynamics are great, the action is truly spectacular, everyone knows it's great. Moving on, 5 bagels out of 5. Now, I know a lot of people are kinda upset that it just ends, but personally, I'm okay with that. My favorite movie of 2021 was Dune, so I guess I really don't have a problem with cliffhanger endings, as long as the conclusion is great. Okay, for animated feature, honestly, I feel like it's probably going to be Boy and the Heron. For one, it's a Miyazaki film, and he's been in the film industry a long time, making a lot of movies, and Spider-Verse is only half a movie. And we all know from Lord of the Rings back in the day that half movies do not get the Oscar, but the conclusion might, as sort of an award for the whole series. Also, can I just say the fact that Spider-Verse did not get nominated for anything else is kind of shocking. It really deserved a score nomination, let's be real here. Moving on. Next is cinematography. The nominations are El Conde, I haven't seen it, Killers of the Flower Moon, Maestro, Oppenheimer, and Poor Things. I feel like the Oscar is probably going to go to Oppenheimer, even though personally I think Poor Things had better cinematography. Maestro's was meh, nothing really to chew on there. And Killers of the Flower Moon cinematography was good, but I think I prefer the other two. Next is costume design for Barbie, Killers of the Flower Moon, Napoleon. Oh yeah, this movie existed. Napoleon is also nominated for visual effects and production design. Honestly, this has way more nominations than I thought it would. Not that I think the movie is bad, but a lot of people think it's bad. Personally, I think it's okay. I think my main problem with the film is it didn't know if it wanted to be a comedy or a drama. There's lots of moments where it tries to be satirical of Napoleon, but there's also moments where it wants you to think he's the most badass motherfucker who ever lived, and it really can't juggle between the two. Other than that, the movie's fine. I think it was way better than Ridley Scott's last movie, House of Gucci. Although it's definitely not up there with the peak of his works like Alien and Blade Runner. I don't know what happens, man. You just get too old and you stop knowing how to make a movie. That's why I kind of respect Tarantino for stopping after 10. Anyway, Napoleon gets 3 ships out of 5. And the other costume design nominations are Oppenheimer and Poor Things. If I had to choose, I'd say Barbie, probably. But personally, I'd be very okay with Poor Things winning. Next is the directing nominations. Justine Triet for Anatomy of a Fall, Martin Scorsese for Killers of the Flower Moon, Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer, Yorgos Lanthimos for Poor Things, and Jonathan Glazer for The Zone of Interest. The Zone of Interest is also nominated for International Feature, Sound, Adapted Screenplay, and Best Picture. Truly one of the most unique films of last year. It follows an SS officer and the life of his family, who are trying to build the perfect life right next to a concentration camp. It's truly one of the most gut-wrenching films of last year. This film made me sick, physically sick. Well, literally, the guy next to me was hacking up something. God, I hate the theater-going audience. Anyway, the film is truly unique and amazing. The sound design definitely should win the award. 4.5 stars out of 5. This is a really tough category because everyone brought their A game this year. Although because I feel like it's going to be the awards darling, I'm going to go with Christopher Nolan for Oppenheimer. Like, he definitely deserves it. This is one of his best movies, but I would not be upset with the rest of the nominees getting an award. Next is documentary feature. Bobby Wine, The People's President, haven't seen it. The Eternal Memory, haven't seen it. Four Daughters, haven't seen it. To Kill a Tiger, haven't seen it. And 20 Days in Mariupol, I actually have seen. So this is a documentary about the Russian invasion in Ukraine, and it's truly sickening, some of the stuff you see in this movie. It can be a lot to watch at some points, but it's definitely an important watch. For me personally, I just love this kind of on-the-ground journalism, kind of like Channel 5 or something like that. 4 Ukraine flags out of 5. Between all the documentary films, I'm gonna say 20 Days in Mariupol. I mean, yeah, it's the only one I've seen, but the Academy likes this kind of anti-war stuff, you know. Hi, everyone. Sorry, I had to cut in here real quick. I'm on the, 11th fucking hour on making this video. I apologize, but I'm gonna have to cut it short right here. I'm going to leave up the ratings for the films I have yet to talk about right here, right now. Then I'm going to play the recorded thoughts I had on Past Lives, which is the last Best Picture nominee I didn't talk about yet. Then after that discussion, I'm going to go into the predictions I didn't talk about yet. Again, so sorry I had to end the video like this. I'm not happy about either, but stay tuned for my 2023 ranked video coming later this month, which I will talk about the films that I didn't mention yet, as well as even more films that aren't even on the Oscars list. Just any movie I saw. Anyway, thank you for your consideration. Sorry for all this, and now on to the Past Lives review. Alright, next is Past Lives, the final movie I will talk about in full. Past Lives is a truly amazing film. It really shows how differing branches in time affect different people. I love this movie. I thought it was great. Personally, I would have been okay with it getting more nominations, such as Greta Lee for main actor or Celine Song for director, but yeah, a great film. Okay, so for documentary short, I think that The Last Repair Shop will win, even though I prefer Nine and WIPO to win. Nine and WIPO had more charm and was more artistically motivated. Last Repair Shop was okay, you know, it was a kind of average, but whatever, it'll probably win. Editing, I predict Oppenheimer will win, even though I'd be okay with really any of the movies here. International feature is easy. Zone of Interest is the only film here on the Best Picture list. If only France was smart and decided to submit Anatomy of a Fall, then we'd have at least 2 movies here on the Best Picture list, so we wouldn't have an easy answer. Makeup and hairstyling, I think we'll go to Poor Things, if not Oppenheimer. Original score will go to Oppenheimer, although Poor Things would also be cool. And Indiana Jones shouldn't even be on this list. Original song, I think will probably be What Was I Made For, even though I'm Just Ken would be kind of cool. And The Fire Inside is fucking garbage. And Flaming Hot is fucking garbage. Production design, I think will go to Barbie, although it could go to Poor Things as a backup. Animated short, I've only seen 95 Senses. I thought that was pretty cool. I like how every sense had its own animation style. That was pretty awesome. And I'm just gonna say that because it's the only one I saw, even though I'm guessing it probably won't. I don't know. Live action short will definitely be Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar. I mean, it's Wes Anderson. And The After was fucking terrible. At least it was like somewhat funny though. Sound, in a perfect world would be Zone of Interest, but in a dumb world would definitely be Oppenheimer. It's the battle between the one that used the sound most artistically and the one that was the loudest. Visual effects will probably be the creator, although Godzilla Minus One would be awesome. Adapted screenplay will probably be Oppenheimer, and original screenplay will probably be Anatomy of a Fall, although Past Lives could also be there too. And the Big Daddy Best Picture will be Oppenheimer. Again, sorry I had to cut the video short, but if I wanted to get it out in time, I had to do it this way. And also, it builds up anticipation for the 2023 rank. Anyway, thank you for watching. Goodbye. See you all later. And happy Oscars.